in order to factor a quadratic equation, it needs to be in standard form. So a reminder that standard form is when you've got y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That means that you have an x squared, which as you can see here we do. You have an x and you've got a constant at the end here. That means that you also have an a, b, and a c. So if I list them out separately, I'm going to write that a is a number in front of your x squared. Well, the number in front of your x squared here is invisible, and when it's invisible, it's equal to 1. So a equals 1. You've got your b right next to the x, so your b is negative 4, and your c is negative 45. Okay, so b is negative 4, and c is negative 45. So what you want to do when you start factoring, the first step to factoring anything is to find a common factor. So you want to write that the common factor in this case is equal to 1. When the common factor equals to 1, there's really not much you can do, but when we were doing factoring before, you were going to write cannot factor any further. But in this case, we need to move further because we're learning new things. So when you see that you've taken out the common factor of 1 and there's nothing else you think that you can't do, you need to look at this and say, this is in standard form. I've got an A, I've got a B, and I've got a C. I have to try this factoring chart, which is called the A times C and B chart. So we already listed our A, B, and C. So my A is 1 times my C, which is negative 45. And when you calculate that, it gives you negative 45. Make sure this chart looks exactly how it looks, exactly the same way I'm writing it. It's very important to be very specific in this chart. And then your B value is equal to negative 4. So again, a lot of people tend to forget to write this part. Please don't forget to write that part. It is very important. So then you start factoring. So what that means is you need to find the numbers that multiply to negative 45. Now to make it easier, you're only going to use the number 45, okay? So you're going to say, well, 1 times 45 gives me 45. Now, if you try the number 2, the easiest way to do this is to take your calculator. Not sure if I've got one on here. Okay, so take your calculator and start dividing. So you take your 45 and you divide it by 2. Oh my God.